And interested in knowing what your type is for the MBTI, your personality type? Well, there are 4 letters that are used to represent your type. There's extrovert, which is an E, introvert I, sensing, intuition, feeling, thinking, judging, and perceiving. And when you put these together, that creates a total of 16 possible types, which are based on their unique combinations and preferences. However, no personality type is better than another. Each has its strengths and each has its weaknesses. So knowing your type can be very valuable. It can help you to choose a career that might be good for you and matches your personality and your weaknesses and strengths. It helps to understand others and increase communication. It'll even help you to better understand your own behavior. You can work more cooperatively and collaborate within groups and teams, as well as manage people better in work situations. It even allows people to really appreciate those individual differences. When we start to look at the self-test, you need to choose one or the other. So when you look at an extrovert, think about, are you energized by interacting with others? So extroverts are people of action. They're easily pulled into a social life, and they find it difficult to settle down, to read, or to concentrate, especially on homework or reading. They may find college tasks like reading and research and writing very challenging because these are solitary endeavors, and they learn best by talking and physically engaging in the environment. They learn better in small classroom settings where they can really actively engage in conversations, especially where they can talk to peers and professors because they verbally process information. They do not enjoy large lecture-style classrooms where listening is going to be the primary activity. They enjoy oral feedback from professors as well as conversations, especially those right after class or during office hours, so they can start to really bat around those new ideas. And additionally, they benefit from group studies where they can learn through speaking with others. On the contrast side, introverts are energized from an inner world of reflection. They love to think, to ponder, to contemplate, to meditate. They need quite a bit of space and time alone. They enjoy reading, lectures, and written work, and they do well in traditional classroom settings. They may hesitate to speak up, but they're going to benefit quite a bit from one-on-one conversations, especially with a professor, and they especially enjoy written feedback where they can pause, ponder, and really think about it. So online coursework works really well for introverts, and also chat rooms or any kind of technological communication styles like texting. They need time alone, these introverts, so that they can process and re-energize before they can join a group or a study. So as you are looking at this, are you more extrovert or introvert? Do you find being with other people to energize you and you get more energy? Or do you find that you are actually more exhausted after you've been with people? Sensing are people who rely heavily on their 5 senses to take in all of their information. They tend to be good listeners and they're visually oriented. They enjoy hands-on experiences, concrete facts, organization, and structure, and they learn well from any kind of organized presentation. They're good at memorizing, and sensing people usually like outlines, clear guidelines, and even specifics. Syllabuses and agendas are very important for sensing types. They have difficulty with theory, and they're going to struggle with theoretical concepts that are commonplace in many work situations. In the contrast, you have intuitive people. They're going to see the world through a lens of intuition. They learn by hunches, and they may not really understand things all the way through because they're not very detail-oriented. They like to know the theory, though, and then they will decide which facts are important after they ask why. They're creative and innovative, and they really struggle following some strict sets of instructions, directions, and frameworks. They are going to work with great bursts of energy, and then they're going to slow down. So they don't have a ton of stamina or equal things out. So on this particular one, choose. Do you think that you relate more to a sensing or intuition? Thinking people tend to make their decisions on the basis of logic, analysis, and reasons. They are great at figuring out logical problems and analyzing problems. They may not voice their strong opinions in a group setting, but they do expect fairness, and they want equal treatment of all people, and they want everyone to follow the policy strictly. In contrast, we have our feeling persons who make their decisions based on feelings, not just their own, but those around them, their environment, their community, and their world. They're going to look at personal likes and dislikes. They value harmony above all else, and they are distressed by any kind of interpersonal friction. They really need harmony more than anything, and before they are able to make a decision or even to learn. Which one of these best describes your personality, thinking or feeling? The judging person really tries to make order and control in their world. They're decisive. They sometimes may seem like they're closed-minded, but they generally tend to be very well organized. They're deadline-oriented. They like to plan, and they prefer to work on only one thing at a time. They have very well-organized life, notebooks, agendas, plans, and they're going to structure their time in a very detailed manner. They sometimes are going to struggle if changes occur because they are not very change-oriented and do not enjoy change. And they really do not enjoy working with a group or a team that is not organized. They also do not like anything that is going to be last minute or spontaneous. This is more like a perceiving type who is very spontaneous and doesn't like to be boxed in by deadlines and plans. They want to gather as much information as possible, even if that means missing a deadline. And they're going to work on many things at once. They're flexible, they're good in emergency, and especially when any kind of plan is disrupted. Their biggest problem, however, tends to be procrastination. They have trouble budgeting their time. However, they do very well during that last-minute push. As you look at each of these personality types, you're able then to decide if you are an extrovert, an introvert, a sensing or intuition, judging, perceiving, or are you thinking or feeling? As you look at each of these, did you know that there are also facets that are related to each of these personality types? And you can learn more about these in the next video on MBTI personality type facets.